I hope you all are doing well. Coming to chime in during the lunch and learn accountability. As I wait for some of our team to come into the room, I figured I'd come over here and talk to y'all, right? Because these are some of the things I actually wanted to talk to them about today or share in my space today. But y'all know I'm really transparent and believe in a true authenticity. So I'm going to set y'all up. We're going to have a conversation today about nonprofit filings, pivoting, and what else? Accountability, right? We're going to talk about a few things today. So, truly excited to be in the room. You guys, I have had to get caught up on some rest because I had to, let me cut this music down before they chop my video, right? So we put Paul on pause. We gonna put Paul on pause because we don't want to get our video taken down. So, for those of you who are here who do not know me, I am Dr. Eve, and I'm an author, a speaker, amongst a mom, a wife, all the things, a grandmother, and I talk about resilience and sustainability, building the life that you deserve, right? And sustainably, especially in the times that we are currently living in. I accept no handouts. I accept no handouts because God said that I could have all the promises if I loved Him. So I have expectations of God, right? Never, I don't have any expectations of man because man will fail you. So it's critically important to understand your position, right? And I have a position in the kingdom. And so I'm going to be looking in two places today. Hello to you. Thank you. I am married and 33 years this year. And so I am super excited about longevity and all the things that I have been privileged to be able to sustain for so many years. So I'm having a cup of guava. No, I don't swing. We don't do that here. I am a God-fearing woman of God and living and shaking in my boots to make sure I make it in the kingdom, right? I do not. So, welcome to my channel. I am talking about a lot of things, some things I've been doing this week, nonprofit filing. So, let's just dive right into that because that has been the thing that I've been working on this week that I want to really talk about to those who are in my audience. You may even be interested in doing this type of work. Nonprofit work is not bad work. A lot of people think that, oh no, I would never, start a nonprofit. But we have the benefits of stop fighting each other in Jesus' name. Amen. So we have the benefit of, you know, tax, grant dollars, and we also have the benefit of products and services. I want to talk to you about what I've been doing this week, how that worked out for me, and some steps you should take to be in preparation of. So every nonprofit agency, I've been in nonprofit work since 2001, like way back in like the time when God said, "This is what I want you to do." And during that time, I wasn't getting any contributions. I had a lot of in kind things like that. I was doing a lot of service work and teaching young people to be in service to their community. That was, teaching them to be, integral, teaching them to build community around the things that they care about, right? Teaching them to care for others, to be compassionate humans, right? And so that has been the work, that has been the journey. But over the years, that has progressed into me now working a lot more with those who are starting agencies of this type, right? not just nonprofits, but for profits, and also, really diving into how you not only start your own and be an independent business owner or a nonprofit leader, but how to sustain in your process and how to grow, how to scale, your that thing that God has called you to. So really, really excited to be. I'm in an accountability community right now. They're not here, so I'm talking to y'all. So this week, back in April, any nonprofit, every single nonprofit, you always going to have filings, just like you would have for a business. Any business, you were always going to have filings and accountability to do, accountability to agency, right? To make sure that you are operating integral with integrity, and that you are, you're going to grow, you want to grow. And so you have to do things decent and in order. And so I had to work on a nonprofit 990 in this time, because when I started this work years and years and years ago, I wasn't getting all the donations, right? But over the last couple of years, I have been able to get, not yet, but I do have assessments to help people get prepared. I have a cohort. I have a cohort, and I'm taking people on the wait list for that, so that we can teach them how to um, find that one thing, find the thing, and make multiple things out of it. That is what I teach. That course is I Am We, Innovative Approaches to Manifest Your Wealth and Excellence. And I am doing a cohort in January. So if you would like to get on the wait list for that, you can find the information that's in the description of this video. Okay, so where should you follow to get the next? That's where you should go to that link, get into our accountability group, because anybody's welcome to attend that free group. So make sure that you are in that community if you would like to learn more. Okay. So this year I had to complete the 990 in, because I had more than 50, I had more than 50,000 in contributions. So that was a process, and it was truly a learning curve, right? And by learning curve, when you have your systems all set up, you have your chart of accounts, you have ledgers, you have all the things that you're doing so that you can be meticulous in your record keeping. That is really, really critical. And I say that because oftentimes many are not. And anytime the IRS can say, give me your books, right? So can I have your books, right? So you want to make sure that you are being meticulous with your record keeping. So in this process, I had to transition into thinking 990, and I'm now thinking I want to think big, so I don't want to be small. I don't want to keep thinking, oh, let me just process this e-card, this e-postcard, because that's posing limitations on my ability to grow in the space of the work that I do. So I have surpassed that. So I'm scaling, right? So that's the part of scaling. You want to grow, but growing requires a different mindset. And for me, it meant, okay, I'm aiming for the stars. I don't care how complex these forms are. I don't care how complex it is to have to deal with bylaws and constitutions and all, but those things are cool, right? What platform is the group? The group is on Zoom. The group is on Zoom. I do it every week, every Tuesday, lunch and learn. And as a matter of fact, we're going to be having a special guest for our lunch and learn on the first week of December. Let me give you that date. It's going to be talking all things money, money and mind. Money and Mind. We're going to have a special guest. Her name is Yolanda Gardner, and she's going to be on with us. She is going to be our featured guest for welcome, welcome, welcome. She's going to be our featured guest for December 3rd. This is the first week in December. Welcome to the call, Raquel. I see you out there. I'm also on YouTube in the space out here talking, and welcome. So thank you. And if you have any questions over here, I'm doing both. I'm learning to pivot and be flexible with my Learn to Learn accountability community and with my YouTube audience. So for some reason, y'all, I have not been able to broadcast from Zoom to my YouTube. It keeps saying that I need to give permission. But y'all, I've been on YouTube since 20 over 10 years, and I had permission. I'm not really sure what's happening with that. But anyway, welcome to the call, beautiful. So we were talking, Raquel, about growing, about that thing that God has you doing, and growing it, being in it, being integral, and changing your mindset about how you're going to run God's business. Me, right? Because we have to be running God's business decent and in order. So you asked for what platform we're on. We're Empress. We are right now on Zoom. Okay. So we're talking about when in 2001, when I started, I didn't have much. I was in kind and serving through the nonprofit means mode. But what I've learned so much over the years, and nonprofit is a business, and you have to have products and services. You have to have revenues. You have to have a revenue generating nonprofit, or you going out of business. For sure, okay? Because you can't sustain without some dollars, okay? So we were talking about how over the years I moved into was once filing those 990 EZ postcards, but now, the business is growing. I'm in a new space now where my contributions have exceeded the $50,000 mark. And now I have to transition to what's called the 990N. So I was sharing with them on my channel. I like being flexible about real time, what I'm going through in real time, because I want them to know, I want to be authentic, that it wasn't easy, y'all. I was up for days. I was up for days, right? And I'm going to tell you why. So this 990N is so much different than your easy postcard, right? You have an easy postcard, and that postcard, you just fill out a couple of things, and boom, it's you file it, and it's done. You don't really report much. You have make sure you have your ledgers, though. You still want to have your records, because they can still go bam, bam, bam. We need to see your records. Boom, boom, boom. Can we have your records, please? So in the 990 process, I had to file a 8838, I believe it was, back in the spring, because I had to get an extension. So if you have to and you're not ready for the process yet, my goal was, let's see if I can get an audit. I wanted to get an audit simultaneously because I want to be available to get that big money, right? I want to and most of the time, these granting agencies, this is a part of being ready, you guys. I want you to know that this is a part of readiness. And in this group, I used to talk a lot about grants. It's not over. I just want us to be in a season of understanding what the foundation looks like, right? And so in preparation for getting bigger dollars, I wanted to get an audit. And so I wasn't able to get the audit done, but I was able to do an internal audit. So whatever you do, you must have an internal and a CPA audit, right? So I did the internal audit. Y'all, everything panned out like everything, sharp and saw, right? So the next move was, so since I filed that, I had to get the 990 filed this week, last Friday. Well, I get into the system, y'all, glitch. Let me tell y'all something. Don't wait till the last minute to do stuff, okay? So I waited to the last minute. Authenticity, right? We talking about real time. We talking about being real, right? I waited till the last minute, and guess what? I get into the document. I had already had it filled out. I call myself being ahead of the game, filled out, ready to go. I get into that system, and that system looks a little bit different than what I got going on over here, right? And so I had to, what was required, and this is the lesson I want y'all to take away from the filing of of documents. When when I created my original ledger and chart of accounts like a bank ledger, right? But I have mine set up so that my treasurer can come in behind me. I'm the ED. My treasurer can come by. I can approve something. My treasurer can come in and then change the channel and approve things. But what I didn't do, you guys, and here's what I want y'all to know: the 990 form and any tax form. Listen. Let me just say, any tax form. Any tax form. Make sure you get the appropriate tax forms that are for your company. Study that form, because herein lies the issue. Most of the time, your red flags that will cause an alert, cause an audit, will come from not having things in the right categories, right? And by that, I mean, for example, I'm going to say this. So, like, my ledgers broke down into by numbers that are easily my chart of accounts, but IRS has their own, right? So now I have two columns. I have my chart of accounts, but then I have the IRS categories. Because guess what? That was herein lied the problem for me getting it in, pressing the button on time to get it filed on Friday. So I was able to give that, my phrase or clause so that they would understand what actually happened. You just tell them what happened, right? I told them what happened. Well, it went through this morning, and I'm really happy about that. So it is filed. I'll probably have to do an amendment. So some things that I learned from that. For example, on your forms, you will have these categories of expenses, right? And on the categories of expenses, they are not going to look like yours. They look like theirs. They look like what the IRS says they want, right? And so let's talk about that for a second. And this is what I want you to do. Pull your forms, because you got to file over here in my accountability group. Y'all got to file paperwork this year. Go ahead and pull your, we're talking about real time right now. We're talking about real time discussion. Pull your paperwork. I need you to write these things down because this is very important. So on your form, when you find your particular form that you have to file, you want to go back to your ledger or your system that you're using, your chart of accounts. And where it says revenues, make sure that you have categories on your ledger that on the outside you have your chart of accounts, and then you have a COA for IRS or IRS COAs. And then you want to put their COAs in the second column. And you want to make sure that you know that, okay, if it's a contribution, gift, and grant, number one, you have that as a IRS COA. If it says number two, program service revenue, including government fees and contracts, that's a IRS COA. So whatever your form is saying, you want to have a IRS chart of accounts, because when you get ready to file your paperwork, you can organize your Excel spreadsheet, which is what I use because I'm able to manipulate it the way that I want to be able to find my data, right? And so I was able to manipulate it and say, okay, data sort me by contributions that are in this category: contributions, gifts, grants, and similar things that meets the IRS COA. So I was able to then be able to organize it by that, calculate that number, sum, and put it into that. But here's the thing, it's theirs. I have organized it by their chart of accounts, which makes it easier for me, and it makes it easy for them, because if you make it complicated and it doesn't fit within the realm of their chart of accounts, it's a flag, so you don't want the flags. You want to stop that. So another one was 3, membership dues. Do you have membership? I don't have membership dues. Well, I do for my board of directors. My board of directors are required to help me raise money. If you don't have, if you got a board and they not helping you to raise money, then that's not a good recruit. Okay, let me just be clear. If you are a nonprofit organization, today we're talking about nonprofits, for profits, whatever way. But if you because guess what, even if you are an incorporation and you have a board of directors, incorporates have board of directors too. You may be running a corporation, a C corp. You probably got a board of directors, right? Because that's that big money. You want to think big. We ain't thinking small no more. We are not going into 2025 thinking small. We're going to think like the big CEOs. Why? Because y'all, everything is on the fire right now. Everything is on game. And if we don't up our mentality and how we can scale the things that God has put us over, then we just gonna be accepted. And baby, I just told myself on this line before came on this call, I don't need what you handing out. Yeah, I had to tell myself that because there's so much out here going on right now, and everybody's worried about this program, that program, and the other program. And I was reminded today when my father told me back in the day when my mama and daddy had their own house, my daddy told me, and Lyndon Johnson was one of the worst, public enemy number one for our people. Why? Because of social welfare. My daddy said, we don't need your food stamps. Do you understand me? So we have to talk to ourselves. We have to ask ourselves, is that where we want to be? Like that's when you really need it. Like I believe those systems, if we're going to have those systems, use those systems when you really need them. There comes a time in life, and we're going to get to that today because we're talking about quite a few things today. There comes a time in life when circumstances outside of your control may require you to seek out those services. The problem is when it becomes the norm. It cannot be the norm. It's a poverty mindset. There is too much money out here for us to have a poverty mindset. We must understand that the promises of God are ours if we are children of God. And I am his, and baby, I don't want nothing what y'all handing out. I'm just Okay. I'm just being real today, okay? Coming from the heart, pure from the heart. Let me get back to this form. Number 4 says investment income. We're talking about revenues right now. So investment income, you got some investment income. If you're a nonprofit, you are able to take investment income. If somebody wants to give you some of their portions, give you some dividends, make a column for that. I have it on my website at NCBWR. If you ever want to give to us, you want to give us $5 a month, we'll take it. It's a write-off for you, okay? So if you want to make space for giving, ncbwr.org. We'll take your donations. $5 a month. You can give us $10. We do good work, okay? This work I'm doing over here, holding these sessions every week. This is a part of our work. This is a part of showing up in a room where we can support sisters and help us to grow in a way. This is nonprofit work, for profit, but God got a for-profit agenda. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's nonprofit work, but God has a for-profit agenda for every woman who locks into this room and decides to elevate what God has brought her to, okay? And make her ownership over the things. His promises are yes and amen. Okay, so let's move on. In the revenue section 1 through 9, you want to make sure you have those COAs. In the expenses, you want to make sure you have 10 through 17. Make sure they have IRS COA. And I will have a form. If y'all want access to that form, I am going to put it on my website as a free download. The account that I'm going to put the blank Excel sheet as a download on my website that you can grab, and you'll have to switch your codes, your codes. I have some chart of accounts you can use. I have, for example, I'll tell you what I have to kind of give you a descriptive of what I have on mine so that it'll help you. So I have an Excel spreadsheet and I redo it every year. I'll make it 2023, 2024. I just rename it. I'll copy it and make it a 2025 edition, right? But this form is designed, it has a by budget codes. I'll tell you exactly what's on here. So not only do I use this Excel spreadsheet to let me see here. I gotta move it out the way here. I got a lot of stuff going on over here. But not only do at the bottom of this, this is really all of my accounting. All of my accounting is in this ledger. My credit matrix, 2023 budget projections, budget codes, ledger, grants I'm looking for, my matrix, my SC, everything is prospects, NC procurement, any granting agency, event reporting. So like when you have an event, you want to get your report of who was there, how much did you make, how much did you spend, so that way you have, that may be another form I will put up there is event reporting, something that you can also, yeah, we're gonna go to the call, Raquel.
Dr. E, real quick, are you sharing this now or are you just going through
I'm
it?
just going through it right now, but if y'all want me to go through it, I will go live on another YouTube and I'll share that as well because I want people to have this information because it is a beautiful document. I knew what I needed. I've been doing this since I worked for the university, and the thing about it, y'all, we have available to us, we have access to information that we are not paying attention to. But for me, when I went to work for the university, when I went to work for the hospital, I went in, what's your strategy? What's your strategy of distinction? Because I want to help you get there. That's the kind of employee I am, okay? Whoever I'm working for, whether it's for me or whether it's for another company. But baby, I'm going to work just as hard for my company if I'm going to work just as hard for yours. Here's the thing. When you are working in those roles, I did budget management for a major department, English. Every student got to come through there, thousands and thousands of students. 75 to 100 professors. I was organizing that chair department. And so I was doing budget. So I knew the budget system for the entire university. Well, baby, if they using this system, guess who using that same system? And how many years ago was that? But baby, that's knowledge. That's the knowledge takeaway. What do you take away from what you learned? Like that was a huge takeaway for me. So not only, and it was public. It's a public university. So I went and I said, well, what are the numbers? I did this every single day. So I took the chart of accounts. That seems fair. I need them charts of accounts. I need them numbers. I need to categorize my business this way. So I wanted to make sure that when I'm like, for example, let me throw some of this out here to you. Some of the chart of accounts that I use in my business, nonprofit or for profit, would look like, okay, compensation, personnel, workers' compensation, Social Security, medical insurance, disability, TIAA, legal fees, accounting and auditing, other contractual services. That's under my 1,000 category, right? In category number 2, supplies and materials. You want to break stuff down because that gives you a good way of assessing how your business is actually using its dollars, right? And when you do it that way, it gives you a chance to say, okay, well, I didn't use this much money in this category last year, so I'm not going to project my budget for using that much money this time. I'm going to lower that because we didn't use, and I'm going to allocate that money somewhere else. So in category number 2, 2,000 supplies and materials, I got things like educational supplies. Well, what does that mean? Educational supplies. 26, office supplies, things like paper, cartridges, material. Professional development, that's a category under that area. Professional memberships, like your associations. You should, if you are a business owner and you are vying for you have a specific niche market, you should have a professional membership. For example, I'm a member of the NABSW, National Association of Black Social Workers. Why? Because that's the work I do. That's the work I do. And so you should be a part of something bigger than you. Okay. Why? Because that helps you to stay in the know, helps you to network with the big people all over the country, right? So you got to figure out what's your thing and make sure you grounding yourself. Professional memberships. I'm a member of the professional grant writers. I'm a member of the Professional Association of Fundraising. Why? Because I got to fundraise. I have to grant write. So I need to be in a space where things are happening that I need to be and have the knowledge for. Subscriptions, things like um yeah, I would say like professional subscriptions, like that ASA, that grant professional is a subscription, right? So those are subscriptions. Doc, where I get um, journals. You get journals. You get hard copy doc. We can't get away from those things. Like those things are so important for us to stay in the know. I'm a researcher, so I want to have being research driven. So I want to have like that. So what I'm saying to you is you want to this is your budget. How do you prepare a budget for your organization or for your business? How do you do that? This is how, you got to think about what your expenses would look like for your business. And that's what I do every year around this time. As I begin to prepare for my 2025 budget, I'm looking at my budget, what happened, how much money I had left over from last year, how much money am I going to have, what can I allocate to what. Now my budget's going to be a little slimmer next year, right? But this year, it was okay. So things like also in your supplies in your area, you want to think about your payroll system. Like I just went to Gusto. You want that link? I will put that link inside this video. Yes, I'm an affiliate, and that way you can get on to Gusto. Y'all, they $40 a month. They handle my payroll. They not only handle my payroll, but they handle all of my quarterly reportings. They handle all. Look, I'm looking here right now. I look back and pull all the forms. All of the forms. I didn't have to do. Yes, I'm paying them. Why? I don't. They accounting. I don't want to have to do that. Payroll. $40 and I can pay you to do all of that? Yes, please do it. $40. Here you go. Every single month. Put it in your budget. Okay. That's $40 per 12 months. All right. Simple plan. Make it easy for yourself. Things like DocuSign, like if you're doing internet work, virtual work, you want to have your own access, electronic signature software. Things like your UPS mail stop. And if you are a business that works at home, you want to make sure you have a mail stop, like a business mail stop. Like um I'm going to say this. I'm going to recommend, there are many. I use many of them. UPS. I also use iPostal. But when I was looking at the business that actually has the credit accounts, that business has a different kind of mail structure. It has a structure where there are many businesses within a business, and that way it is an official mail, as official building, right? And so you want to have that kind, because your creditors, your people you're applying for credit, will not give you the money. Your hard money lenders, your creditors who you're trying to get credit from, they're going to look for you, and they don't want you to just be set up on. I hate that. I hate that they do that, because many of us are working from home, right? So it forces us to have to get these mailboxes that are not just mailboxes but official offices, right? But I say get ready, because we're going back home again. I really do believe that. So y'all need to be prepared to make sure you have your mail stop. All right. Because I know that, just my spirit man says, with everything that is happening in the world and all the things that are showing up now, tuberculosis and this and that, the polio, the this, the that, be prepared, be a seasoned, grip yourself in the understanding of how to work from home. Okay. All right, things like Microsoft, your Zoom, if you have Zoom, or if you can find other sources, open sources. Here's what I recommend: look for open sources, y'all, because I don't think we take advantage of that enough. But here's what I want you to do as you're thinking about your open source: make sure you have your own official email. Do not get Google dependent. Let me say that again. Have your own official email. company fee. This is why we teach you how to own your name, because that is the one thing that ain't ever gonna change unless you get married. But baby, it is what it is for me. 33 years, and I am her. Okay, and so I have an official website. It's in the description if you'd like to learn more about me. In the description over here on YouTube. Okay. And with that, I have my own email. I'm getting away. I've gone back to all of my vendors and saying, "Hey, this is my new email." Because baby, if anybody says that I got to do X, Y, and Z, or I can't access their email system, that means there's something up to. I'm not taking no marks. I'm not taking. I'm not taking your mark. This mine over here. You must own yourself, okay? Over here on YouTube, you must own the things that God has put you over, okay? And that's you. That's you. You, his jewel, okay? Stop me if y'all have a question, please, because I am going through this form. If you have a question, all right, things like your current services, other things you need to consider. And again, this is the form that I'm going to make available to you, and I will actually pull out a blank. I've gone through this form before, but I think I will actually do a YouTube on this because I want people to have access. It is that time of the year. We're going to have a special guest, Yolanda Gardner, on our December 3rd. No, let's see, December. She's one of my mentees. December 3rd, I have been working with her since she was in middle school, and she is a financial advisor. So she's going to be coming in to share with us about M&M, mind and money, and a lot of wonderful things. It is that time of the year we must be talking about how we taking care of our business, okay? Other things that you need to put on your list for your expenses, and this is for profit or nonprofit. Your travel. Will you be traveling? Where are you going? If you have a number of trips you're going to take. Now, I just mentioned to y'all my associations. I know those associations are going to have trips. When is it and how much? So I know there's at least 4 trips I'm going to take, right? When is it and how much? It needs to be in your budget. This also tells you how much money you're going to need to have to make, right? By setting a budget and preparing for it, it prepares you to say, well, where is this money coming from for these things? That's when you have to get into mode. What's your products and services? Whether you break even, whether you make enough, you may not. But let's shoot for yes, you will. Let's say you're going to maximize, and not only are you going to maximize, you're going to have more than enough, and your cup is going to overflow. You hear me? Let's just speak a thing, okay? You're going to have more than enough because you have the promises of Yah, okay? The other things that you need to consider: communications, things like your telephone services. Do you have a cell phone for your business? I do you have field phones? How much does it cost? How about your website and your web domain? Do you have that? Is a cost. You need to have these things and be projecting these things for your 2025 budget. How about marketing? This is free marketing. So if y'all not using it, I'm not sure why. Because that's why I be like, why y'all not on Facebook, or why y'all not on Instagram, or what's your preference? I'm on YouTube because baby, I know there's billions and billions of people over here. So I'm staying over here in this space because this where everybody at. What plan? Okay, so let me see if there are any questions over here on YouTube. Any more questions? I don't see any more questions over here. If you have questions over here in the accountability space, please list your questions and I will answer questions not only for you, but also for the YouTubers who are over here as well. Please stop me again If you have a question, please ask your question. I'm also going to be looking at the chat, and so that I can inform you, and you can and I can inform the YouTube community as well. Some other things you need to be considering for your 2025 budget. You need to be considering things like printing. What things I have a journal that has to be printed. I have book expenses. I have books I write, memoirs. Do you have a I have a live journal that I want to publish for the nonprofit. So I will be utilizing the stories of these amazing interviews that I'm having, and we're going to publish a journal. So whether they know it or not, they're going to be published in this amazing journal that we will then be able to give away to those who donate to us, right? At a certain amount, we will give them a copy of this journal. So that is a way of raising money. So you have to, when you're thinking about your nonprofit, how you going to generate some revenues. Well, that's one of the things, ways that we are going to do that. What will that do for the organization? Amazing things as we connect with women and Black women all over the country and even abroad. What it also does is it puts them in a publication where people can actually have access to them. See, that's what it's all about. It may be electronic for the first year. I may not have any printing costs at all, but I will have editorial costs. Like I will need an editor. I will need somebody to help me with that. I'll need photography, all the things. So those layouts, you have to peel back the layers of everything so that you can put in the cost that you're going to need for that particular thing. The other thing, computer equipment. We know computers have shelf life. Do you need any new equipment? Are you planning on doing anything new this year? My plan was this podcast. So the podcast, I needed new equipment. I got it all. I got me some good mics, got me some good speakers, got me a computer. I knew I needed some things for the podcast. So I got all those things. Well, project. What are you going to be doing? What is your goals for next year, right? For now, I'm just focusing on this community and accountability, my books and memoir, sharing with you all, pouring into you all, making myself empty, because that is where God has me in this moment. Empty yourself, because there are people who need what you have, right? So just go and talk to them and share it with them, right? And let them bring them in community to get support. Other things that you need to consider, like your web hosting, e-commerce, any trainings, nonprofit trainings, anything that you have to attend, right? Because why? You want to get smarter. You want to be in a room with people smarter than you, right? So what are the trainings? Like, what's our focus this year? My focus this year is food, water, energy, and shelter. So that's 4 areas that I need to find. Where's my space? Where's the space? Where do I need to be? What trainings do I need? FDA, USDA. I need to be in, I'm doing all things holistic. So baby, how do I make this? How do I make that? I want to show, my goal is not to depend on the government. Why? Because they are CHEMICALLYPOISONINGing us. Okay. Y'all got that? All right. So my goal is to teach DIY. DIY. So what equipment do I need for that to DIY, right? I've been doing it. I grow food. Preserve food. I want to teach you how to make things. Lotion. God told me to prepare in 2020, baby. So I'm already ready to teach you. All right. So I knew these things already. So what other things that you need to think about? Insurance and bonding. Insurance liability. You should have professional liability insurance on your company, right? And any capital expense, anything over $500. So I will be sharing with you this ledger. If you are interested in any of the work that I'm doing, please do click the link. Click the link in this description over here, YouTube, and you can connect with us. Get on to our Lunch and Learn every week. Every week, same time, Dr. Eve is going to show up in this space. If you show up, I'm showing up, and we are going to do some great things together. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share about this week in the nonprofit space, some things I was doing. I wanted to give it to you real time because it was hard, y'all. I knew what I had to do. And when you know what you have to, sometimes you're going to lose some sleep. I lost 2 nights of sleep. Okay. But that form is in. It has been accepted by the IRS, and I'm so happy today. Okay, I'm so happy today. And then and here's another thing about that form that I learned. They're going to ask you things about your organization. What do you know about your business? This is how on point you have to be about centering what it is that you do. You can't be flip-flopping all over the place. I'm gonna tell you why. I had to do a nonprofit statement. I did a nonprofit statement, and because I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm called to do. Come on, Raquel, you got a question?
Was this your BOI form? Is this what you're
No.
forming?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That still has to be done. And I knew that I had till December, but I was doing some back end work on all of my businesses saying, do I really need this one? Do I really need that one? I've been doing some work in the background for all of you. Your BOI is due by December. Okay. Evaluate. You have to sometimes take a step back and evaluate where you are and what do you hope to be doing, right? Because you want to maximize your ability to function. Functionality in business is critically important. Oh, thank you. I take a little sip. Anyway, and so that's going to be filed in December. But back to this form, I had to do I didn't have to, but it's public. Did you know that when you file these forms, it's public knowledge? What was your impact? I don't care what kind of business you are. What's the impact? Impact is everything. What's the outcome? What's the impact that you want to have on the world? Ask yourself that question. I want you to take that question away from this meeting today. What is the impact that you want to have on the world? What's your assignment? My assignment is to touch one life and touch millions. You know? And because that's my assignment, I wrote a whole book series. I'm clear about what my assignment is. I'm her. She's the one God called to touch a life and touch millions using her strengths. What is her strengths? Connect, activate, maximize, influence, and stand in your confidence in doing all of those things. I know those things about me. When you know these things about yourself, you can define what it is God truly called you to do. I must say that we must know these things about ourselves. And when we know these things, you're on the right track to be, to do, so you can have. It's called becoming who God has called you to become, for those of you over here on YouTube. So, does that make sense? Any questions over here in my accountability space? It's lit today. It's lit, y'all. All right, because God gave me a new fire. Even with no sleep. All right. But I'm well rested. I've been in the garden. I had a board meeting last night. I got another meeting to look, I'm on fire for 2025 and I'm not missing a beat. Okay. And I want y'all to be just as on fire. If you're not there, you need help and you need support and grounding yourself in the things and understanding your purpose. Baby, get on over here to this accountability space where we talking about seasons. Let's go. So I'm going to talk again about pivot. I said over here on YouTube, part of my lead conversation was pivoting when you need to. Well, we had an event. We had an event in our family, and sometimes families have events that require you to pivot. So last night we discovered that a long time contract that we've had in the family for so long was given to another staffing agency. So the contract is no longer ours. That's a lot of money. We got to figure out now. We now have a new thing we got to deal with. Because that was a lot of money. You hear? But what did I learn from that? What can I learn? And how do I support my spouse? Y'all, this not just about us. This a whole family. This a whole family matter. Bills still gotta be paid. House ain't paid off. We gotta think. We gotta think now. We gotta come up with some strategy. So what I learned was, that okay, we're gonna evaluate what happened. First of all, we put a lot of things in that one basket. This is why I'm trying to tell y'all that you cannot put all your eggs in one basket. You have to have 8 sources. And the word tells us that, okay? Ecclesiastes, y'all, go to it. Okay? Let me give it to you just in case you don't know that it's the truth. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all that scripture. I don't have it in my front of me, but I'm going to tell you what it is. Give me a second because I put it on my website to remind me every time I go there. And I also have a library, y'all, on my website of all the resources that I use because why? If you want access to that, you have to be a member, okay, to have access to my library. But that quote is, let me give it to you right now. It is marquee and scrolling over. So let me.
It's Ecclesiastes 11 too.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so beautiful. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, invest in 7, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. All right. I put that there because when I go, I want people to understand. My husband he has me. So I'm his source. I'm his backbone. I'm his help. Right. But here's the thing. There were things that I shared with him that I told him a while ago that he needed to prepare for, to not put his eggs in one basket. And now we know he's encouraged. He is feeling very encouraged to have me and God, because God is our power source. We plug it in right now. Okay, God, that door closed. What's next? We plug it in. So um, he's encouraged, and what we'll now do is make him move quickly along the things or even combine, because I've been wanting audacity to elevate to city contracts, all the things that I have been working on in the background for this family org. He has a company though, Trust Denim, trust in God, trust Denim, this has been his baby, right? But he doesn't have all those perks. And the reason why it's important for him to get those perks is because he's been growing this thriving business for years. And we're talking about mass money. So in the next couple of months, I'm gonna have to, while he's still got generating income, I'm gonna have to take a seat. I'm gonna have to drive it home. I'm gonna have to get him them cards. I'm gonna have to get him everything he deserves. Do you understand? And there is a way to do that. So we got to put in full effect all of the things that's gonna get him set up in Sam's system, because there's a way, y'all, in case y'all didn't know. You better tell him, Raquel.
All three.
There's a way. And guess what? He got a beautiful wife over here who is a woman, black owned minority business. Okay. And he a black owned business too. So he gets access to those contracts, and there's no better person for him, because that man did. When I tell you he is a man about his business, he is a man about to be able to maintain that contract all these years. He ready. He ain't go ready. He ain't go ready. We on to something else. That's okay. We on to something else, right? So wanted to just share that with you all out there today. That's what I have. How important it is to look at We're preparing for next year. So we're on fire. Everything money, everything books, everything cooking, every document, all the things. We talking about that this month. We talking about from now to December 31st, okay? From now to December 31st, we organizing, okay? That's this time of the year. Any questions over here in the accountability space? All right. So YouTube, I'm going to let y'all go so I can talk to my ladies over here. If y'all want to join us over here in the accountability space, you are more than welcome. Please click the link in this description of this video. Register to attend. We are here every week on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're getting into how we don't need what you got. I don't need your food stamps. Okay, that what my daddy said. He meant that thing too. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I love y'all over here. To my audience, thank you for showing up and being supportive. May you have the most amazing day. And whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who God has called you to become. Peace and blessings, everybody. Bye. Not you.